be a fake death, and then called my reaction manipulative. I'm 21 years old and my partner is 24 years old. We've been dating for 3 years and live separately, but we have had plans to rent together shortly. Before this, everything was wonderful. My backstory is that I have a history of self-harm. I've been doing it since I was 11 years old. It's been 2 years since I did it. I have some horrific scars, but I'm doing a lot better now that I'm in treatment. I haven't had the desire in a long time. My guy had an ex before me who was really good at mind games. It's important to me since he sometimes believes I'm playing games when I'm not. For example, when we first began dating, he was concerned that I might self-harm for attention or to punish him. His ex would threaten things like that if he ever left her. I have never done this, and despite my difficulties, I'm quite patient and communicative. Until this point, I thought we had a fairly good connection. The main plot is that the boyfriend went out drinking with his pals. I typically receive a call from him about 2 a.m. to let me know he's home and safe, but I didn't hear anything last night. I assumed he had just forgotten, so I went to bed as usual. I awoke at 11 a.m. to a slew of missed calls from his mother. They lived together. When I phoned her back, she texted me at 1 p.m. saying she couldn't speak. I was concerned and informed her of my concerns. She said that my boyfriend did not get home last night because he was in a car accident and did not survive. This was quite strange to me since I get along well with his mother and would never expect to be informed this by text. That morning, I was certain that my lover had died, and I completely shut down. My housemates were all gone that day, leaving me alone. Grief overtook me right afterwards, and I had a severe relapse in my self-harm. I didn't care at the time since I was in so much pain and my typical coping mechanisms weren't working. I listened to previous voice notes of his and even sent one to him through the most uncontrolled crying I'd ever done, telling him how much I loved him. Well, he arrived at my door 20 minutes later, claiming it was a hoax because he got into a tiny bump and feared I'd be angry about him driving drunk as well as him mushing up his vehicle a bit, and he and his pals devised this scheme to simply make me glad he was okay. So they grabbed his mother's phone, and the events described above occurred. I was plainly relieved he wasn't dead. But I was dealing with a slew of other, much more intense feelings. I was furious that he drove drunk, furious that he saw nothing wrong with it, furious that he would lie about something so severe, and saddened that he let me wallow in agony for over an hour until I gave him a voice message that made him feel horrible. Plus a slew of other stuff I'm still trying to put into words. When he discovered I had been hurt, he flew off the handle. He claimed that I punished him and converted a harmless prank into something far more serious, so ruining the joke. He claims I was guilting him into having fun, and he now doubts I won't do it again. He also proposed that I spend a few weeks in the hospital for my mental disorders and increase my treatment. He stated he can't leave me now because I'll behave the same way as his ex. I'm in excruciating pain. I should certainly check into treatment if I'm still turning to it, but this wasn't a regular case of anxiety or even a breakup. I assumed he passed away. I'm also well aware that his acts were heinous, and that he's being quite manipulative in the aftermath. What is the point of a penalty if I believed he was dead? I would not have reacted this way if he had just broken up with me, and I have never mentioned or hinted at it. I'm not sure what to do now. My intuition tells me to leave him because of this, but I'm torn. Update. I ended my relationship with him for the following reasons: drunk driving, endangering himself and others, taking his mother's phone and tricking me into thinking it was her, deception, telling me he was dead, deception/extreme emotional stress, and having me believe that for hours I could name every bad feature for that one. Borderline sociopathic behavior, not apologizing for any of these things, telling me I'm too sensitive, invalidation, shifting responsibility, being angry at me for relapsing, unsupportive, uncaring, harsh. I still won't blame him for the relapse, despite the wishes of many here. That is my fault, and I continue to see a therapist for it on a regular basis. So, for those who are curious, I took a few days off. I did talk with his mother over the phone, and she was really sorry on his behalf. I showed her how to set up a passcode on her phone. After that, we met and I went through the points I mentioned above. He appeared regretful and serious about all of them, and he listened carefully to what I had to say. Unfortunately, he didn't realize that apologizing wouldn't alter my position about terminating the relationship, thus his true colors out towards the end. He became irritated with me for stopping it, telling me I was theatrical and using other invalidating reasons. Oh well, I said what needed to be said, and that's sufficient closure for me. Story 2. My 20 female friend, 20 female, broke up with her boyfriend, 20 male, because she thought he cheated. She found out he didn't and she won't stop crying. This is such a mess right now, and we can't see each other because of the coronavirus. I don't want to go into the details of my friend's split. However, we held a party at our institution about a month ago. Many others, it seemed, witnessed something and felt my friend's partner was cheating on her. She ended her relationship with him. There is now a video from the party that proves he did not cheat. The problem is that she had just begun to recover when she discovered he hadn't cheated on her. She sobbed as she broke up with him, and he sobbed as well, attempting to explain his innocence. They certainly adore one another. They've been dating since the beginning of their freshman year. When she broke up with him, all my buddy did was weep for a week, and the terrible part is that we stopped seeing her boyfriend on campus as frequently as we used to. I feel awful for him, and I'm sure he's humiliated. I can't imagine being wrongly accused by so many people and then having your girlfriend dump you. Anyway, my pal has been weeping nonstop. All of my friends are upset since we can't assist her through Snapchat or FaceTime. But every time we contact her, she is either weeping or on the edge of tears and saying hurtful things. What if he transferred out? She wonders. This is my fault. And she's been cuddling a teddy bear he once gave her. It's quite heartbreaking to see. Her partner had to return to Canada since the campus had been cleansed due to coronavirus. And he's been deactivating his social media for a while, and his California phone number isn't functioning since he's in Canada. My friends and I have been trying to discourage her from saying bad things, but I nearly burst out laughing because she continues saying stuff like he wanted to embrace me, but I pushed him away, and it's awful. Then she says, I want to embrace him, and goes on to cuddle the teddy bear. Worst of all, we can't even see one another. Any ideas on what we can accomplish without meeting in person? I feel sorry for her and her lover. It's heartbreaking, but the virus is complicating matters. She recently uploaded a lengthy video on Instagram. I'm not sure whether this is a smart idea since it might exacerbate the situation. So many individuals are weighing in on what's wrong and what occurred. It's her sobbing and apologizing for being wrong. Her boyfriend did nothing. Everyone in the comments is crying because she shared numerous personal experiences about how she was frightened and easily overwhelmed her freshman year, but how her boyfriend would always console her and cover her in a blanket. She also said that one time when he was supposed to go out with his pals, he remained with her the whole night. She refers to him as a pure spirit. Some things, though, will make little sense to those viewing since they are unaware of the separation. He wanted to embrace me. I didn't allow him. I should have. Don't make the same errors I made. He didn't deserve this. Don't blame him, she kept screaming. Then she tries to explain things to the camera, such as the teddy bear, but then starts weeping as she holds it up. Because she's weeping in between statements, it's difficult to comprehend. Some are frightened that she would harm herself, but she claims that she must do so since it is unjust to him. Edit 2. I'm not sure whether he replied to her email, but she didn't bring up the possibility of getting back together, as recommended in the comments. She just apologized and said that she was mistaken. I'll let you know whether he reacts or watches the video.